Hello, my name is Sir Synchro, and today I will be bringing you 5 helpful tips for your Palworld 1.0 journey. Now, these tips can range from your early to late game, and I'm sure are useful to especially to beginners. So, I hope you stick around, and let's get right into the first tip. Now, coming with Palworld 1.0, we get a whole new plethora of items and crafting materials. And the ones that I found out that I used a lot more in this update than into the past is the POW organs, especially for these 4 items here. As for carbon fiber, you need flame organs, ice organs for the cryogenic coolant, venom glands for the corrosive solvent, and electric organs for the bio battery. Now, you have a couple of options, and yes, while you might be able to farm money and buy the organs you need, if you do start early enough, you can start saving up plenty of these organs, as I have been using thousands of each of them. Now, when it comes to the ones I can farm, you have a decent bit. Some have very few, and some have a couple. And I also have a couple other useful pals that just can reduce the grind later on, as it can get a bit stale and boring just farming. Now, starting with ice organs, we have Malchrist and Foxsicle. And as for most of these pals, you can get them pretty early on with a few exceptions. But Malchrist and Foxsicle are going to be your ones for ice organs. Sparkit for electric, Caperdy Knock for venom glands, and you have Kelsey, Ignis, Flambell, and Ruby, which are used for flame organs. Now, a couple other useful pals, like the Kelsey here, drops PAL fluids. You have Doomud and Doomud Guild also that can drop high quality PAL oil. You have Malpaca, Lamball, and Crimus, which can all drop wool, but Malpaca is going to be your best bet. Then you have a couple others that are a little more for late game. That will be your Siblex and your Siblex Primo, who drop high quality cloth. And those would be used for most of a lot of mid game recipes. And I have thousands of these organs that I've been farming, and I go through them like crazy, as these items are not exactly cheap to craft. Now, starting with tip number 2 is going to be about effigies. Now, in Power World 1.0, they added a bunch of new effigies which can be used to permanently upgrade your character. In the original, we only had Lift Monk, which increased your POW catching power. But with the newest update, they added a bunch more, and they're quite abundant, but some can be a lot harder to spot. Like, take it for here in the desert. Honestly, if you're just from a distance, you could be hard to notice. But one good technique is when it's nighttime, you can fly over, and a bunch of these you can even see at a distance. Even when it's daytime, you could tell how hard it is to spot. But at night, they kind of stick out like a sore thumb. So I have one right here, and that can be pretty hard to spot, and you just never know. And I spotted some more right here just from flying around. You can notice all these very obscure spots. Now, plenty of other effigies, and I'm going to plan to go over each in a separate video and give guides and show how useful it can be. So, like and subscribe and be ready for that new future content coming. Now, for tip number three is not something I would recommend for the early game, but if you are able to pull it off, it's going to be quite helpful. So, as you know, you can catch the human characters in Palworld, but with the 1.0 update, we got a whole lot more variety when it comes to merchants. See, we have wandering merchants. This one's a legendary ammo merchant, PAL merchants, even the bounty officers. And while these guys are deployed at your base, you can use them like a portable shop, basically. And this can save a lot of time, especially since like this legendary ammo merchant has saved me so much excessive crafting. I can look at him and go in his shop and he's selling all kinds of ammo. It's just not regular ammo and stuff. This is the latest ammo for all the best weapons in the game. And while they are equipped pricey, I'll be also posting a guide later on how to make millions in Power World. But these guys are super useful, so you don't have to go around teleporting to different settlements and finding merchants when you could just kind of deploy them at a base and just have an easy source to sell all your treasures or buy whatever ammo, pals, or just common like ingredients like souls and organs. Now, for tip number four, I'm going to explain a little bit about dungeons. Now, I'm here at the Rain Syndicate Tower. This is probably the first or just one of the first dungeons you'll meet. And Power has went through a lot of changes throughout the years for how dungeons are. There's new layouts, and just added stuff that make exploring dungeons a lot more fun. Now, these are actually very, very important early on. Like especially this one right here is if you know you can find these lotuses. There's all kinds of them, like speed lotus. You can get over here and you can use those later to craft elixirs, which can be used as permanent upgrades for your character. As my character right here, I have the maxed out work speed through elixirs just from clearing dungeons. And if you do start collecting these and you start crafting your own, you can quickly boost all the stats that you want, especially like work speed. Again, can be very useful early. But if you didn't also know, whenever you clear a dungeon, you are also guaranteed to get an elixir. And now they can vary, but I have found this one almost guarantees the work speed one. So it's pretty easy to just run through. Some dungeons are longer than the others, but they're you can just run through, defeat the last pal, and right here, speed remedy. Of course, I can't use it because my player stats already maxed out. But you're almost always getting technical manuals, the advanced, and there's also ones that give you ancient technology points. And it's good to get these early because you do not, even if you max out your level in getting all the teleport and stuff, you won't have near enough technology points to unlock everything. I'm max level and have been for a while and clearing dungeons. I still have a lot of unclaimed engrams and stuff. Of course, I'm going to have another video here soon, I'm going to explain the best way to farm these technology points, but these dungeons are a good substitute, especially in the early game. Now, for the last tip, I'm going to go over probably the most important thing to upgrade base efficiency and the best way to upgrade it. Now, these methods are slow and it's going to take a little bit of time for it to build up, but they are almost invaluable if you want to have good efficiency. Now, this is the PAL expedition station. If you didn't know, you can send PALs on expeditions, and whenever they come back, you get a selection of items based on the area you send them. Now, this is one of the later game ones, but you can see, I guess some of the late game usually get some raid materials so you can start raids, food. But the most important thing we're looking for is these ancient PAL manuscripts. Now, the thing to upgrade your base is going to be this PAL labor research lab, and you almost can't do anything unless you have those manuscripts. Now, I'm going to give an example here. Look, like this right here for electricity, work speed for generating electricity plus 10%. And not only they upgrade throughout, and the only bad thing is they get more and more expensive as this takes 120 electric organs. And these require a bunch of bio batteries, which is even more electric organs. So I'm just going to give an example right here, one of the early ones. This gets power storage capacity plus 20%. So you want to go over to, you can do begin research. And I'm going to use my power here, just deploy them, or the ones around the base even work too. And you can see they just go right here and they do research. And there's so much valuable passives and stuff you can get for your base. You can kind of look right here and not only get passives for your base, you even get other technology engrams. The things like items that boost sanity or boost the efficiency of pals that are mining. And you can see the most important, in my opinion, is the crafting probability of spears and ore and ammunition are very crucial. You could go and craft 1,000 spheres, and with this 15% crafting probability, I could get maybe 100 extra for free. And it can get rid of a lot of grinding early on. I can give you an example right here. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to craft, let's do 757 just PAL spheres. Now, it'll do this instantly. And this is the ancient workbench, so you have to have two workers. But you can see here, I'm queued up for 757. Now, once the other pal gets over here, they kind of slacker sometimes. Come on. Look, you can see that bottom number rapidly climbing. And I have already gained over 50 extra spheres in a matter of seconds. So you just saved a bunch of material and got so many extra spears. And like I said, I have it for ammunition and just smelting ores, and even for food too. And this is just invaluable, and you need to make sure you do not ignore it, as I think it is one of the most crucial items to use for your base and just to have throughout the game, as it can save you so much extra grinding. Now, these are just going to be the first 5 tips. I'm going to have plenty more tip videos to come. So, if you enjoyed the video and found these tips useful to you in any way, please like, subscribe, drop a comment, criticize me, or tell a funny joke. And I'll see you guys next time.